Truth Unveiled here, and I just want to share this prophecy with you all that came from Esdras 1,000 years ago, spoken many thousands of years ago. And the reason I want to share it with you all is because, there's a lot of talk out there about, end times and about prophecies and about this is supposed to happen, that's supposed to happen, the war on Gog and Magog and all these other prophecies, some which are true and some which aren't. But remember, in order to find truth and seek the truth, we need to seek the word first. And here is a prophecy that lets us know and even says that what's to come upon America, modern day Egypt, will be the 10 plagues. And even some of this stuff matches what goes on in Revelation, such as blood, darkness, the locusts, the whole 9 yards. So I'm going to read from 2nd Esdras chapter 15, verses 1 through 27 to share with you the prophecy that was spoken of thousands of years ago. Of course, you can find this in the Apocrypha. Notice how they had to hide it from the Holy Bible. So let's read together. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith Yahuwah, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, saith Yahuwah, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Where have we seen this before? Sword, famine, death, and destruction. The four horsemen. Okay, in Revelation. Okay, let's keep going. Verse 6. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore, saith Yahuwah, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the ignorant and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And therefore, saith Yahuwah, I will surely avenge them, and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. Listen to this, verse 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that Yah shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, with the fearful constellation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation. What does this sound like? This sounds like the coming economic collapse to hit this nation. Let's keep going. Verse 20. Behold, saith Yahuwah, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me. What does this sound like? How will that happen? How will he do that? They will all be hiding, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south from the east, and Lebanus, to turn themselves one against another, and repay the things that they have done to them, like as they do yet this day unto my chosen. So will I do also in recompense in their bosom. Thus saith Yahuwah, my right hand shall not spare the sinners, and my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth. The fire is gone forth from his wrath, and hath consumed the foundations of the earth and the sinners, like the straw that is kindled. Woe to them that sin, and keep not commandments, not my commandments, Salakia, saith Yahuwah. I will not spare them. Go your way, ye children, from the power, defile not my sanctuary. For Yahuwah knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore delivereth he them unto death and destruction. For now are the plagues come upon the whole world, and ye shall remain in them. For Yahuwah shall not deliver you, because you have sinned against him. This prophecy, which is just very, very startling and very, should just wake you up. Notice how they had to hide it from the Holy Bible, because this book is not in the Holy Bible. However, what is in this text? Verse 11, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Who is Egypt today? Can somebody please tell me who Egypt is today? I can. It's America. And I'm talking to you Hebrew Israelites out there. This is for you. You've been enslaved for almost 400 years now. The year 1619 will be 400 years since you've been enslaved in modern day Sodom and Egypt. Just so that you know, just so that you're aware. The year 1619 is the first time that the slave, the so-called slave, the so-called Negro, the Hebrew Israelites were brought to the new land, Egypt, again with ships, to be enslaved, just as they were enslaved in the real Egypt for 400 years. But now this is new Egypt, and now the 400 years are almost up. And what happened to the first Egypt after they were to be delivered? The 10 plagues. What were the 10 plagues? The plague of blood, the plague of frogs, the plague of lice, the plague of flies, the plague on livestock, the plague of boils, the plague of hail, the plague of locusts, the plague of darkness, and the plague on the firstborn. This is a prophecy, and according to this prophecy, it's going to happen again in America today. It's going to happen. And when it does happen, the real biblical Israelites will return to their land that he has given them, the real Israel, and will drive out those so-called Jews who don't belong there to begin with. So, but if we look at the 10 plagues, notice how they match the book of Revelation. The very first one, the plague of blood. Where do we hear that? In the book of Revelation. The blood to wipe out a third part of the world. What else do we see? We see the plague of frogs, the plague of lice, the plague of flies, the plague of livestock, the plague of boils, the plague of hail. Hail is mentioned everywhere in the Bible. The plague of locusts and the plague of darkness. The plague of darkness. Where does that we see that in the book of Joel as well as the plague of locusts, but we also see it in Revelation when it says the sun shall be turned into darkness. The moon shall be as red as blood. We see that all over. That's what that's talking about. It will be the 9th plague that is to come and strike America, which is modern Egypt. And if you don't believe me, you'll see it for yourself. And then, of course, the 10th plague, the plague on the firstborn. All of these plagues will come upon America. This is a prophecy that was prophesied thousands of years ago. That modern day Egypt, which is in fact America, will come upon America. These 10 plagues. They will come upon America again, or Egypt again, which is modern day America. And the Hebrew Israelites, the true biblical Israelites who are still enslaved in America, who are still have yet to go back to their land and have not been back for almost 2,000 years, this is how he will deliver us out of our land, out of this land and into our own land, a land that we have not seen for almost 2,000 years. And if you keep thinking that those fake Jews in there are part of that land or are part of Israel, I suggest you read Revelation chapter 2 verse 9 and Revelation 3 verse 9, because that will tell you and prove to you once and for all that they do lie and that they are the synagogues of Satan. I'm not making that up. It's right out of the Bible. You can go look it up and do the research for yourself and wake up to truth and stop believing the lies that is called white history and European history, because they are all lies, and so is anything that has to do with Jewish Zionist funded myths. Because we are in a land of sun worship, we are in a land of lies, we are in a land that is prideful and boastful and will fall soon enough. Because like I said, 2019 marks 400 years since the biblical Israelites have been enslaved in New Egypt. The devil knows that. That is why he's vehemently pushing for this new world order. at this time, because 2019 is barely 4 years away from now. So I just thought I'd mention this and bring this to your attention. Please share this with your friends, share this with people you know, because I'm telling you now, the 10 plagues will hit New Egypt, which is America. And so will other plagues around the world, but it will start with America. This is Truth Unveiled. Peace.